Looks like people are finally waking up. Stay tuned. So why do I say that? Well, if you recall the past few years, everybody has been spending just insane amounts of money on vehicles that don't really serve their needs, right? Like there's a old saying, tools for the job, right? And what is in front of me right here is something that isn't really practical for much in the way of anything, but it is astronomically expensive. And I think it's just sort of a joke vehicle. And you could argue, Jeeps and off-road vehicles do serve a purpose and everything like that, right? You can take them to places that a Lincoln Town Car wouldn't be able to go to. I get that. But from a daily driving standpoint, it's just ridiculous. And people are not really buying these like they were. Their sales are way down. I'll put the number up on the screen. And I'm not shocked. I mean, look at the price tag on this. This thing's been sitting here and they're doing discounts and it's still not moving. So what do we have? We have a 2024 Bronco Badlands. This one has the 2.7 liter 10-speed automatic transmission, and it has the Sasquatch package. Great color. I love this color, by the way. I think the eruption green metallic is probably my favorite. All right, so what do we got? Base price $51,385. Now, if that was the price including all of this stuff, I could see that. Total options, $16,935 for an MSRP of $70,215, which is just absolutely ridiculous. And it's the same story over here, right? This one is the Outer Banks. This is kind of the more road-friendly one, something that could serve arguably as a bit of a family hauler, right? I tried to get Mrs. Rev Nation to take a look at one of these, and she wanted nothing to do with it. So same thing, right? $55,000. Think about all the vehicles that you could buy for $55,000. It's just like the price. I just don't get it. Like, why do they think that they can charge this kind of money? Again, $55,500 and some odd dollars for this one. Doesn't even go off road hardly, and it's got like 8 inches of ground clearance. I mean, look at the difference between them, sitting side by side. My Ford Ranger has way more ground clearance than that Ford Bronco. That's pretty wild to think. All right, yeah, here we got another Badlands here, $69,000, and it's just the same story, over and over and over again. Nobody's buying these anymore. And one other thing is the Bronco Sport. This is surprisingly expensive too. I mean, this is like a nothing to it, right? Outer Banks, really basic trim, almost $36,000. And it just goes on and on and on. I don't know, folks. I think that people are waking up. They're sick and tired of being ripped off, and they're speaking with their wallets, and I'm glad. Do I want dealerships and stuff to suffer and people to lose their jobs? Of course I don't. But if they're just getting junk for insane prices, right? Here's an Expedition. I love the Expedition, but look at that. $75,000 for an XLT. Like, this is a mid package, 75 grand for something that's not even top of the line or any of that. And they're all like this. I don't even want to know, what like a limited trim costs. I mean, that's got to be crazy, right? 78 grand right there. And now you got the new Ranger too. So let's take a look at This one here, I believe this one might have the V6 in it. Let's see. Sorry, I know that sun's probably a little bright. Oh my God. Ugh. All right. So this one does not have the V6. This is a 4-cylinder. This is a Lariat trim. Keep in mind with the Lariat, you don't really get a lot of the features that you do in other vehicles, like cooled seats and automatic rear window and spray and bed liner or any of that stuff. You don't get any of that. So what do we got? Base MSRP $47,165. After options here, $52,025 for a Ford Ranger. It's covered in bird shit, and I'm not surprised. I'm sure it's been sitting here for an insanely long time. But it's just like this over and over again. They've got like 3 Raptors. Let's go take a look at that. All right, there's the F-150 Raptor. Pretty neat. Man, this thing is like really wide. I wouldn't want to drive that around every day. Just seems like it would be irritating. So what is the price tag on one of these now? Oh man, that's a bargain. $81,930. And over here, these are even like way more crazy. So what is it? Guess. All right, guess. Oh yeah, $95,000 even. And again, not selling at all, of course. Because who the hell is going to pay $100,000 for a little toy like this? $99,140. For that amount of money, I mean, I remember when I could buy a house for that amount of money. You know, yeah, you can't do that anymore, of course, because they sold out the country to Wall Street and every other scumbag under the sun. But yeah, I don't know. After you pay a loan, say you finance that at like 9%, which is the going rate, that Bronco Raptor is going to cost you like $140,000. And now you go to sell it 2 years later or something when you lose your job or whatever. Just imagine how far upside down you're going to be on something like that. And it's like that on so many things. Like even these little Ford Escapes, they're like $40,000. It's crazy. I don't know. I'm considering selling all my new cars and just getting, you know, decent beaters and calling it a day. I don't know. Put in the comments what you think about all this. It's frustrating. But I'm glad that people are kind of speaking up and they're starting to discount them at least, but they're still, you know, 40% higher than they should be. All right. Thanks for watching. We'll see ya.